Welcome to another exciting episode of your program of choice, Health Affair on AIT. I am your regular anchor, Ushuomowa Daniels. On the program, we focus on public health issues and the challenges of women and children with a view to finding lasting solutions. On this week's episode, we shall be focused on breast cancer.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has debunked claims that children in Nigeria were being administered a vaccine that contains 40% mercury and prescribed by a foreign organization. The Director General NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, said mercury is a metal and cannot be used as an element or a component of vaccine. She added that the basic components of vaccines are antigens and adjuvants, which improve immune response, antibiotics to prevent contamination during manufacturing, preservatives, and stabilizers. Adeyeye said temerosal, a mercury compound, which is a preservative used in multi-dose vaccines, contains a different form of mercury called ethyl mercury. According to the DG, there is no evidence of harm caused by the low doses of temerosal in vaccines, except for minor reactions like redness and swelling at the injection site. Latest statistics from the World Health Organization indicates that Nigeria as a country presently needs an average of 1.8 million pints of blood annually to keep her citizens' health safe and sound. Experts who are currently deliberating on ways to encourage voluntary blood donation said the 500,000 pints reportedly collected annually in Nigeria remain quite minimal when compared to national needs, translating to a shortfall of approximately 73.3%. Despite the importance of blood to human life and rescue operation in times of emergencies, Nigerians continue to suffer greatly from poor culture of voluntary blood donation.
Donors will hardly just want to walk in to say they want to donate. So to get them is difficult. And that's why we still go back to paying them to get it. But we have been working on that gradually, even as a society. And now we are reducing that, and people are giving a kind of compensation. We are encouraging our members to stop giving them money, because it's supposed to be voluntarily donated blood, not the one that, because you see, when you pay, that means anybody can just come and want to be a donor. We are launching what we call SBiC Connect. SBiC Connect is an app that you can get to download on Google Play or Apple Store and all the like. Now, we brought that in because we felt, okay, accessing blood has been a challenge. The logistic of somebody needs blood in Ikorodu, and then how do you get it in the night? So anybody, a medically and healthcare personnel or a patient or relatives of the patient can just download the app. When you need blood anywhere, click on the app, then take a local government you are. It will bring out the list of all the blood bankers around that side and tell you those that have blood at that time. How many pints does this one have at this time? How many negative does he have? Then you can click on it and then you make a request. I want to encourage all members to make sure that they key into it. And the only way we can key into it is by making sure that we update our record. You know, every blood bank needs to update whatever they have in their bank at least 2 or 3 times a day.
Nigerians need to know that we do not have enough blood in the country and that they need to donate blood voluntarily. They also need to know that before blood is collected from anybody, they need to pass a set of requirements and they will be adequately tested before blood is collected from them.
To ensure quality management in blood supply system in Nigeria and to minimize human errors in the process, the experts called for automation and globalization of product service standards.
We need to take progressive steps to ensure that there is automation in every aspect of the blood transfusion service. It makes the system effective, it gives reproducible results, and it makes the blood safe. So we need to continue to work towards it. We did not start from this years ago until we get towards a fully automated system where a unit of blood can be used and can be traced to where it is gotten from.
As good as blood transfusion is, which is to save life, if quality is not maintained, it can lead to the death of the person you are trying to even save.
When blood is required and ordered from the blood bank, that blood is expected to be transfused from within 30 minutes that it leaves the bank. or leave that temperature where it is stored, and not more than 4 hours. So donor blood is to improve health, not to cause more hazard to the patient that receives it.
Beyond the relevance of blood donation to save life, the safeness of such blood in the transfusion process, according to the experts, is key in providing quality care service to mothers hemorrhaging during childbirth, surgical procedures, and other severe conditions.
For 13 years, they have wished and waited for a visit to the Alagbado Covenant Parish as the mother of their Great Commission, the Redeemed Evangelical Mission, TREM. This no doubt explains the many activities and ceremony that heralded that visit on Sunday, the 6th of November 2022. She alighted from the vehicle to a warm welcome by the branch pastor, other members of the church, and women dressed in uniform outfit. And as she danced her way into the auditorium, the atmosphere became charged with praise and worship. A message on the next level and the biblical examples of how obedience worked for Abraham and Peter, who went out fishing, was a lesson for everyone to learn from.
Anything he says in his word, obey it and do it. Say, obedience is divine to the next level. When you obey God, God will show himself strong. Once you know your God, no matter the challenge, and you obey him in his word, he will take care of the challenge. All we are seeing in this nation will change.
For each level you want to ascend, you need a prophet to speak over your life. And now, this is the prophet of our commission, the matriarch of our commission, the resident pastor of our international headquarters, the mother of the entire commission. She came today to pronounce blessings upon our lives. And God has used her all over the world. There's nowhere she goes to that there are no testimonies of signs and wonders, of God's acts. And that is why I'm so excited that she has come, not just to Trem Covenant House, she has come to this side of the city. When you have people who carry so much of God's grace upon their life come to a place, not only that location, that particular location that she enters or he enters that is blessed, the entire place is transformed. The spiritual atmosphere of Alagbado has changed with her comrades, those prophetic pronunciations. And that's why I'm excited.
And I'm so happy, I'm so excited that she was able to make it today. And today she preached about obedience, that for you to actually receive or move to the next level, because the theme of the program says next level. But she actually opened our eyes that we going to next level comes in obedience.
An encounter with destiny. Her coming today has changed everything, both in the spiritual and the physical. God has blessed us today.
It's something we were expecting because we knew what we were going to, get from her coming. And actually what we expected, it came to pass.
Just like what she said, obedience is better than sacrifice. Just believe on God, trust on God, depend on him, rely on him. He will never leave you.
She charged mothers to be committed to the upbringing of their children to save the future generation from moral decadence.
The Bible said, train the child the way he should go, so that when he grows, he will not depart from it. And so many women are failing in this responsibility. But God will help us. As we continue to pray and trust God and bring our children in the way of the Lord will take care.
She also advised women to be mindful of their health and spiritual well-being.
You pray, make sure you read your Bible, make sure you fast, you live a fasted life, then eat the right food. Don't eat everything that comes your way. Eat the right food, and it's not all the time.
Another loving individual poised to offer needed services to his community and the world at large for the next 1 year there. Lion Kingsley Nnamdi Nwoke, dancing Buga amidst friends and supporters to take over the mantle of leadership from the outgoing president, Lion Folajimi Christopher.
I'm sure this is your son, this is your child, and these are your daughters, and these are family members. We want to install Lion Christopher as Kingsley as working as our new president, and we want to extract your commitment, we want to extract your support. Of course, we have been supporting him up to this level, and we hope that we still continue to support him. The position of president is always very challenging. If we have force not to be at home at times, to travel for call of duty, if we have to spend his talent, his resources, he has to spend his time at times, and on most occasions, he will be very busy trying to see how he can put smile on the faces of the underprivileged. We believe that you are going to give him the necessary support. Am I speaking your mind? God bless you. On behalf of the immediate past international president, Dr. X. Alexander, this certificate of appreciation is awarded to you in recognition of distinguished achievement in fulfilling the mission of Lion International, and to affirm the appreciation and gratitude of the association. He has appealed his signature during the immediate past year 2021-2022, issued by Dr. X. Alexander, International President 2021-2022, with the inscription service from the heart. Congratulations, and God will continue to bless you. Congratulations. So, you have been elected to the office of President of your club. You are its chief executive officer. Your success is a reflection of your club success. Now is the time to continue building your club in every way possible, so that it may be an example to other clubs and a credit to the community that you serve, and to the district, and by extension to Lions Club International. Will you preside at all regular meetings and special meetings of the club? Board of Directors meeting, appoint standing and special committees, and ensure their success? Will you also serve as an active member of the District Governance Advisory Committee, attending the meetings of your club? Will you, as President, perform all of the activities as provided by your club governing document to the best of your ability? If all this is so, please answer I will. Yes, I will. Distinguished fellow Lions, guests and friends, this is the moment we've been waiting for. I hereby present to you formally the taaooma newly inducted president of the Great Lagos Metropolitan Lions Club, in person of Barrister Kingsley Esquire, President, Lagos Metropolitan Lions Club 2022-2023, Lions Zaria.
Full of noble ideas to take the club to the next level from 2022 to 2023 service year. Education development and healthcare resonates amongst its projects.
It's an honor, it's also a thing of privilege, but I must tell you that it comes with responsibility. Because as a president of a Lion Club, it is expected that certain standard must be maintained. And that standard requires a lot of sacrifice, which requires your time, your talent, and your treasure. You must put all these three things into play to be able to achieve results. Lagos Metropolitan Lion Club is known with projects, and within the District 404B, Lagos Metropolitan Lion Club has distinguished itself in terms of our project. The last Lion Year, our project happens to be the biggest because we delivered a 12-unit toilet facility within Agege Metropolitan, within Agege local government area of Lagos State. And this year, we are looking at taking up a school to equip the school with, create an IT center in 3 primary schools within Lagos State. And it requires a lot of fun, and it's also challenging. And we believe that within this Lion Year, we'll be able to deliver. We have projects on childhood cancer. We also have projects which deals with diabetes. In fact, 2 months ago, we carried out extensive projects on diabetes. And we're able to reach out over 1,000 Nigerians within the Agege metropolis. And it is expected that before the end of this Lion Year, we are going to carry out projects which also has to do with childhood cancer, sensitization, and testing. And more importantly, we also have projects on vision. And not only providing sensitization, we carry out tests and we also provide glasses. And even our programs on diabetes, at the end of the test, we also make provisions for medications and referral where need be. So it's a whole lot of, it's not closed. We have health-related projects, and I believe we still have within the next 4-6 months, we'll be able to carry out some of these projects.
He's a great lion. He's somebody who is up to the task. He's somebody who can even do exceedingly better than I did. And I pray that the year is going to be favorable, and with the support of each and every member of the club. Because Lions Club, everybody is a president. So with the support of each and every member of the club, he's going to do exceedingly well.
Barrister Namdunwoke, Esquire. He's a prolific president, and he has gigantic ideas that can take the club to the next level. You can imagine at this 21st century, and we have a primary school where the children are not computer compliant, they're not computer literate. And he went all out to say, I have been to this school, and they don't have a single working computer unit here. And I want to take it upon myself in this Lions Year as my legacy project as the president of this club to ensure we have at least 12 to 20 working new systems for these students to make them computer literate, computer compliant at this time. I think it is laudable. It's laudable. And I commend him for that.
He's a reputable personnel, a barrister of repute. He's a very calm president, a calm person to say, and he's one man that we can trust for the job.
Lagos Metropolitan Lions Club, District 404B2 Nigeria. Despite being a young club, it has distinguished itself with so many impactful projects.
My club is a vibrant combination of the young and the old, and our main purpose is selfless giving. And not just selfless giving, we make impactful services to where we need them, when most people need them. So we don't just go to any community, we go to them, seeking what they really need and making sure that they're all comfortable, and we have made a very good impact before we leave.
Lagos Metropolitan Lions Club was founded 3 years ago. Like this, just concluded Lions Year, we donated something we call Back to School, which we donated 100 school bags, 5,000 exercise books, 5,000 pencils, erasers, and so on and so forth. So it's called Back to School. So we do it every September of every year.
The environment is another project. Then the hunger relief for the less privileged. And I think those are the key areas in which we are focusing on. Lions Club is the largest humanitarian club in the world, founded by Melvin Jones in 1916 in America. He's an insurance broker who called his friends to help humanity. And today, all over the world, you will find this club. I've been doing so well for over 100 years, helping humanities and helping those in need.
With about 30 members on board, the 2022-2023 service year promises to be very exciting and impactful under the leadership of a legal practitioner, Lion Kingsley Nwoke, and supportive members committed to impacting the world positively. As at the 28th of October 2022, the Ugandan Ministry of Health had reported 128 confirmed cases of Ebola virus and 32 deaths. Given the proximity between Nigeria and Uganda, the Director General of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, Ifedayo Adetifa, issued an alert for Nigerians to take caution and avoid importing the virus. Beyond the risk of Ebola virus, the West African sub-region in the last few years has been plagued by different re-emerging infectious diseases, for which experts here at the 8th African Conference on Strengthening Health Security are concerned about and calling for timely preparation.
And if you're not prepared, they come to impoverish you and they come to cause mayhem, confusion, and disaster. And so, in between pandemics, as a responsive and responsible government, you have to have a very serious plan for peacetime preparation. And we have many guests here who are military personnel. It's not during war that you prepare for war. You prepare for war when there is no war.
These biological threats is not just what one discipline, one organization, one government institute can effectively handle. There is need for us to understand the concept of transdisciplinary, integrating various sources of knowledge to handle and imagine challenges that is facing mankind. And we have to start breaking our silos and working together to effectively address this threat that is facing us as a people, as a country, and as a continent.
They also act on the concept of One Health approach to biosecurity threats.
Start thinking about health in Lagos State or anywhere else. We have to think of health holistically. The health agenda speaks to the fact that we as human beings cannot be healthy if our environment is unhealthy. Similarly, if the food that you eat is full of pollutants, is full of chemicals, is full of hormones, is not preserved properly, then you are putting yourself in danger.
Most of the epidemic and pandemic we are facing now are of animal origin. Nowadays, it is estimated that at least 75% of all emergencies, all diseases are zoonotic. Effective implementation of One Health approach, we can help us to better prevent, prepare for, detect, and respond to this outbreak. By working together, stakeholders and partners can collectively mitigate the spread of infectious pathogens. This effort will not only contribute to the prevention of future pandemic, but overall help to build more resilient and equitable environment, societies, and economies.
African leaders were also advised to get more involved in global treaties and domesticate them for health security.
A healthy population, people often say, builds a prosperous nation. But many Nigerians are threatened on a daily basis and die needlessly due to diseases, poor health care, malnutrition, and lack of access to relevant health information. The sorry state of our health infrastructure is also a major challenge. On Health Affair, Oshomo Daniels brings these challenges to the attention of relevant authorities for a lasting solution. For sponsorship and other placements, please call the numbers showing on your screen. Health Affair, your access to good health through relevant information.
According to reports by the World Health Organization, there are over 50 types of cancers and some are more common than others depending on various factors which include age, gender, racial or ethnic groups. Breast cancer, which is our focus today, is more common in women. Breast cancer occurs in the cells of the breast based on research findings. In Nigeria, for instance, more than 100,000 cases are recorded annually with several deaths. Most of these deaths have been attributed to late presentation, which makes it difficult for the doctors to do much for the patients.
When you have abnormal cells in the breast, then it is called breast cancer. And the reason these abnormal cells become a problem is that most times they don't just stay in that area. They decide that that breast is not just enough, and they would migrate to other parts of the body. So you hear of metastasis or spread. They can go to the liver, they can go to the chest, the lungs, they can go to the brain, and that's actually where the problem begins. Because if the breast cancer stayed alone in the breast, then all you needed to do was, either do a surgery to remove the cells or treat it locally. But the problem that most people face when you hear, oh, advanced cancer, oh, she presented late, is actually the fact that the cancer has gone to other parts of the body. So while the doctors are trying to, plug it here, it's also over there. You're trying to plug it there, it's still there, and that's what actually gives that whole picture where people are so unwell. So, without going into too many statistics, I just want to mention that breast cancer is actually the most common cancer, not just in women, but actually globally in the world, and remains the leading cause of death. In 2020, WHO noted that breast cancer formed about 2.26 million cancer cases in the world. And interestingly, when we talk about incidence means, the frequency of something occurring. Simply put, the incidence of breast cancer is actually higher in the developed countries more than in the developing country. So, as we all know, Nigeria is a low to middle income country or a developing country. However, breast cancer is found in higher numbers in the developed countries. So the high-end countries, the US, the Canada, and yet the number of people dying are more in our developing countries than in the developed country. I mean, why do we think this is so? And in more recent years, we have found that the incidence in countries like Nigeria is beginning to catch up with the incidence in the developed countries. Again, why is this happening? And of course, we do not have the infrastructure in place to actually contain this rising incidence. However, we have one or two tricks that we can use to stop this. So first of all, symptoms of breast cancer. I think maybe I can ask a question here. What symptoms do we know related to breast cancer? Lumps, very common. That is the most sort of popular response from people because that is what a lot of people present with. Lumps in the breast. Or the orange, that's what it's called, where the lump has grown and has invaded even the top skin of the breast. So when you look at that breast, it looks like an orange peel. And when somebody presents with the breast like that, it's actually not an early stage anymore because the lump has grown beyond you just trying to feel it, and you can actually see that the whole breast is hard. So per the orange. There are some other presentations of breast cancer that people are not are not aware of. So you have discharge from the nipple, like bloody discharge or a discoloration from the nipple. And that is why when we advise women to check their breasts, we're not just asking them to feel for lumps or feel for that peau d'orange. We're also asking them to check the nipple, you squeeze the nipple, you feel the armpit for lumps or lymph nodes there. So these are some of the common presentations of breast cancer. But people can also come to you and say that they've noticed that one breast has suddenly become bigger than the others. So that's not to say that one breast cannot be bigger than the other. A lot of people actually have from birth one breast being slightly bigger than the other. You wouldn't notice, but you know, the person knows, and it's not abnormal. But when you get into the habit of examining your breast, you would notice when one breast suddenly, abnormally becomes bigger. The other thing is, people think that pain is a part of breast cancer. Interestingly, most breast cancer patients don't actually notice pain initially. And so if you have pain in your breast, always get the doctor to check it out, because there might actually be other causes that have nothing to do, you know, our bras, posture, different things, and menopause. Now, when breast cancer has become advanced, there are other symptoms the person might then feel. If it's gone to the liver, they begin to feel unwell. If it's gone to the lungs, they develop a cough. If it's gone to the bones, like the spine, you get back pain and all that. If you're obese, if you're not exercising, if you're not eating properly, if you're stressed, if you're sleep deprived, what it all means is that if you're smoking, if you're taking a huge amount of alcohol, all these things are affecting your immune system, making you a lot more at risk, higher risk of developing abnormal cells. Because if you remember the way the cells in the body, if we remember our biology, the cells in the body have a natural cycle. You get your cells, like a newborn baby, it grows, carries out its functions, whatever part of the body, and then it dies. That's normal. That is the normal cycle of life. And it's happening at that cellular level. With cancer, these abnormal cells, for some reason, and some of the reason are these risk factors I've mentioned, will suddenly decide to go haywire. They either start growing and growing and growing and growing. They don't stop growing, even at the point when they should stop growing and die off. So you have an accumulation of these, and as they are growing, they also become abnormal in the function they carry out as well. And in some cases, you then find the lump, because the cells have grown so much that you can actually feel the lump. As you get older, not just with breast cancer, but with a lot of other cancers, the risk of cancers increase. And the fact that some cancers are run in families, there's a genetic component to it. In fact, for breast cancer, 1/4 of the cases we see have a family history, which is why when we do our history taking, when a patient comes in to see us because they have a new diagnosis, as important as it is to also ask about her own, problem, we always ask about family history. And you find that it might be that a mother had it, or a mother's aunt, or a grandmother, or her older sister. There's a family history. And that is why increasingly we are also encouraging people, know your family history. What runs in your family? Because having that information will modify how you actually treat yourself. If I know that I have hypertension in my family or diabetes, it means that in my early 30s, my mid-30s, I am going to go to the doctor to keep an eye on my blood pressure, keep an eye on my blood sugar, try to maintain my weight in such a way that I have a healthy weight, try to eat healthy, try to exercise. So if you didn't have a motivation before, knowing that there are certain illnesses within the family will help to motivate you. And that's the same with cancer as well. There are families where there's breast cancer, prostate cancer, and it's important to know. And that brings us to the next level, early detection and screening and prevention. Prevention really means you want to put measures in place before the thing happens. That's prevention. Because after prevention is the thing has happened. So what are the things you're doing to prevent yourself from getting breast cancer or any cancer? And that is what I've just talked about. Healthy lifestyle, basically. Now, part of prevention, or next to prevention, is then what else should we do to then focus on detecting something if it actually then happens. And what we do is screening. No, in our environment, the next thing that will follow that is, it is not my portion. I don't want to know. But, you know, that whole attitude has caused so much sorrow and tears in families. Let's just take a moment to think about that. 5 or 7 days after your period, make a date with your breasts. Go in front of a mirror, admire your breasts. And when I say admire your breasts, we admire our faces. And what it means is that when I have a pimple, when I have hair growing, I can see it, I recognize it. When I haven't slept well and I have bags under my eyes, I know. And that's because we are admiring our faces daily in front of a mirror. We need to get to know our breasts just the same way. Now, if you've got to the age menopause where you don't have a period anymore, then take a day every month when you've marked off on your calendar that you will check your breast.
From the detailed explanation by our experts, I'm convinced that you have learned much about breast cancer today. Please spread the information and also take the necessary actions to save more lives. Next on the program is our nutrition segment.
Apples are among the world's most popular fruits. It comes in different varieties of colors like green, red, and yellow. The green-colored apple is said to be used in maintaining bones and teeth. It is also said to aid good vision and provide anti-cancer properties. The red color is good for the eye and memory function. It also reduces cancer pains and maintains urinary tract. While the yellow apple is good for the eyes and boosting the immune system and also reduces some risk of cancer. This crunchy, delicious and juicy fruit is produced by an apple tree, Malus domestica. The tree originated in Central Asia, where its wild ancestor, Malus silvestris, is still found today. Apple fruit is one of the most favorite and popular fruits ever known. This fruit, sometimes called the king of all fruit, has been grown for thousands of years in Asia and Europe, and were brought to North America by Europeans. By all aspects, the fruit is indispensable because apart from the health benefits and nutritional values, it is also known for its medicinal values. Little wonder the saying that an apple a day keeps the doctors away. The fruit, which has long been associated with the biblical story of Adam and Eve, is among the favorite lists of ancient Greek and Romans. In Norwegian tradition, a magic apple was said to keep people youthful eternally. Apple trees are cultivated worldwide. In 2018, the world production of apple fruits was 86 million tons, with China producing 46% of the total tonnage and United States, where the fruit is mostly popular, coming second. Apples can be consumed in various ways, as juice, raw in salads, baked in pies, cooked in sauces, and spreads like apple butter. A 100-gram serving of apple fruit provides 52 calories of energy, carbohydrates, 4% of daily value, 9% daily value of dietary fiber, vitamin C, 7% of daily value, potassium, 3% of daily value. This wonder fruit is notable for its phytonutrients and antioxidants.
On our clinical segment, we give you vital health tips.
Hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver. That means it is injured, okay, and it cannot function very well. And sometimes it can lead to cirrhosis. It hardens it, and that can also progress into cancer. Hepatitis can be caused by viruses or even taking of toxic substances. Just like they encourage people to test for HIV because they say it doesn't show on the face. You have to get tested.
We welcome your contributions on how to improve the nation's health sector and human lives on our perception segment.
The onus lies on the government to reconfigure the health architecture in the country in a bid to keep hold of the manpower we are losing in droves. Government can attempt to address the brain drain by 1, improve healthcare funding and fairness in financing, career progression and meaningful engagement of all healthcare workers. 3, respect, teamwork and a health system governance that is fair to all categories of health workers.
This is where we draw the curtain on the program today. Thanks for spending your time with us. Please, let's do it again, same time next week. My name is Oshuomowa Daniels. Keep staying safe.